Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. Michael got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20. Breaks free of the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40 midfield. 40 30 to the coast. 20 15 Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
Shawn and Maya in the morning on this Hump Day edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Go to that page as well. Like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, listen, go to YouTube. Type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, and also click the notification button. That's the little bell right next to it. And what that'll do, that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. You get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, yeah. But listen, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on now. We have our own mobile app. Stop playing. You can take us with you on the go. So wherever you decide to go, whether you're going to Jersey, Florida, California, Vegas, you can take us with you on the go. So here's what you do. Wherever you get your apps from, and it doesn't matter whether you get them from iTunes or Google Play or Amazon or Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Woolworth, Montgomery Ward, wherever you get them from. Doesn't matter. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. And if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Come on, man. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So. I'll take a quick drink of water. If you have a Roku device in the house, you have a Roku TV, do us a favor. Do me a solid, yeah? Do me a solid, yeah? Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel right to your TV. Put it right there next to Netflix, Hulu, Apple. Put it to Prime, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars, Showtime. Put it right next to all of them, right in the middle of all of them. And you can watch us live on a big screen. Hell, we're live on a big screen right Mickey Ficky now. We're there now. So do it. And if you have more than one Roku TV in the house, do us a big favor. Download us to all of the televisions that you have in the house. I know it's probably, might have it in the kids' room and they don't really watch. And you're not going to watch it in there, but just do us that favor. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy, that's CHI, at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Well, here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram, because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, well, just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Listen, we have a phenomenal show, but we need you to get interactive with us today. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, do us a favor. Leave a question or comment on that particular platform. It'll come up here on the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show, and that's what makes this the best best morning Chicago sports talk show around is you. And that's what we love. That's why we love you, and I appreciate you. You know, so do me a favor. Don't hold back. Bring them all. All right. We want all your questions, comments, smart ass remarks. You know what The Rock said? Don't sing it, baby. Bring it, because ain't nobody scared over here. So let's bring it. Let's see. Let's check the chat line already. Look, it's jumping already. I'm talking about. What are we? Cornelius Squall's in the house. What up, Cornelius? How you doing, Papa? How you, my man? Armando Emeterio, Lara Junior's in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Mr. Shorty. Good morning, Papa. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Junior is very happy about the trash throws. Michelle Wall's in the, what are we doing there? Michelle Wall's in the Mickey Ficky house. Good morning, baby. It is a hump day. Let's get it in. Get it in. Yes, listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. Let me tell you something. I know more of the usual suspects. We'll tune in as the show goes on. As it goes on, you'll see it. We're going to jump in, hop in, we'll start talking, getting it live. That's what I'm. Yeah. Listen, when I said we got a great show, I am not bull-jiving. At 9:30 at the bottom of the hour. All right, we have Brad Squires from the On Tap Sportsnet. He's going to join us. We're going to talk Bulls. Opening night for the Bulls. Opening night for the NBA was yesterday. Opening night for the Bulls is today. Their first game is today at the United Center. They host the OKC Thunder over on the west side, or now it's West Town. Woo, Charlie. You know the gentrification happens. They got to give it a nice new name. So it's West Town now. But I'm from Chicago. That's the west side. Not near West Side. No, not West Town. That's the west side. Now stop with that nonsense. Brad Squires at 9:30. At 10:30, our man Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast. He's going to join us. Talk Bears, baby. I want to get his take on Tyson Bagent. The quarterback controversy that people are trying to create. You know, people just can't. You know, I was in a Twitter debate yesterday. And it's interesting. I won't go in depth with it. But all I said was they didn't call those times of games for Justin Fields. All right. There's a lot more. And my biggest thing was 38 times they ran the ball. Almost 40 times they ran the ball. Do that for Justin. Do that for Justin. Do that for Justin. And you'll see. All right. So we're going to talk to Lauren Cox at 10:30. We're going to finish out the show with him. So I am looking forward to it big time. Cornelius Squalls, what's up? So the breakdown with you and Barlissimo yesterday. Thank you. So I'm looking to try and do something. I know it should have been done earlier, but maybe toward the second half of the season, and then definitely the next year we'll have. I'll be doing breakdowns of the Bears games, and because I that's what I've done my whole life. I shouldn't say that. The last 20 years or so, broken down film, played football, coached football, broken down film, set up game plans, implemented, coached. You know, I played for 30 years. I coached for 16, 17. I have a pretty good grasp of this sport. And so breaking down, and it was fun. Thank you for tuning in yesterday, Cornelius. I loved it. It was fun. You know, you sit there and you watch, and at times we were splitting hairs. Berlissino did it. I did it. All right. But it's just what we do. It's just little things. Okay. Just little things that to make a play much better or damn near perfect, just the little things. And that's what you should strive for. All right. But yeah, thank you for tuning in yesterday. Lavette Lee, she's in the house. Good morning, Mama. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah. So listen, we gotta get jumping. We gotta get moving. Yeah, grooving. Yeah. Hey. See, oh, we got another comment. New person. Oh, there she is. There's the vet. She just said hello to me. Wonderful. Well, listen, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Whoa, what the heck was that? Let's try that again. That was crazy.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
There we go. That's much better. What the hell, Bobby? What was all that about? What the hell was that all about? I don't even know. Lord have mercy. But the first top of the morning topic, woo, Charlie, the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks fall at home on the west side to the Boston Bruins. Boston, wicked pisser. They fall 3-0. Mrazek stopped 40 of 43 shots. You know, the problem that I had was, did we get that, Steve-O? Yeah. The problem that I had is this was a game changer, or could have been a game changer, and they nullified it. Connor Bedard scores a goal, and then 20, 30 seconds later, they just say, you know what, by the way, no goal because offside. Look at this. Let's watch this.
Down low, trying to jam it out in front. Perry. It was Johnson stationed on front. Bad turnover. Bedard scores! A terrible turnover right onto the stick of Bedard.
On further video review, it was determined the play was offside. We have no goal. Please reset the clock to 7:06.
He's bummed. You take another look at that. It's so close. It's really the heel.
So I guess they said
There's a heel still, but yeah, exactly. The heel, the left heel of Athanasiou is still on that blue line, just a touch.
He's completely over the blue line. Reheat it later.
Somebody will eat it.
So
could be us.
Close. I mean, man, that's close.
Wow, that clip courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago and then the NHL Network. It was that close. But you know what? It wasn't the fact that they called it. That wasn't it. The fact is that they let the play go on and he scored the goal. So you saw how he didn't just get it and score. The puck came in and went around the back of the net. It came up. He hit it. He came to him in the slot and he fired it and scored. And then they disallow it? Come on. That play's got to be blown dead. A whistle has to be blown. All right. Stop action. And call the penalty, call the infraction. So, you know, you got to do, you can't, I mean, what are you going to do? Just wait till you decide, oh, well, he scored, so I'll call it. Not, I mean, come on. There has to be a reasonable amount of time. It was over 15 to easily over, I'd say 15 to 20 seconds after that infraction occurred, that they called it. Come on. Yeah, that and I'm not saying that would have won the game for them. I'm not. All I'm saying is it would have given us, it would have changed the outcome. I mean, worst case scenario would have been 3-1, but you never know what happens. A shot, especially if it's Connor Bedard. So that energy could have lifted the rest of the team, and the game could have gone a different course from there. NHL's got to do a much better job. All right, the rest got to do a better job. I mean, I get it; they're human; they make mistakes too. The people that they're officiating, they make mistakes while they're playing. If you're dealing with humans, you're gonna get mistakes while you're officiating. I get it; I understand. I'm just saying you have this things you have to do to make the sport better. And listen, and with all the hype that Connor Bedard's getting, like, you're gonna have to cut him some corners, like little shit like that. Especially after he scored the goal. Like, I can see if someone else scored it in not a name, but this is Connor Bedard. And you know what? I'm sorry, those clips were courtesy of ESPN. They were on ESPN yesterday. They got, man, the Hawks. This kid has so much star power, and he's what, 7 games, 8 games in his career. I mean, he's been on national TV 3 or 4 times already, between the NHL Network, to TNT, to ESPN. This kid is awesome, and they're trying to maximize his star power. People tune in when Connor Bedard is playing. So, my girl Monica, Moni, how are you? Thanks for tuning in, Mama. I appreciate it. So, man, if Monica's in there, Junior's in here, that must mean one thing: that Jeremiah is watching as well. I want to say what's up to Jeremiah, and what's up to Armando Emeterio Lara the fourth, Armandito, or Jojo, whichever you want to call him, but he's not watching because he's in school. But anyway, good morning, Dito. Good morning, Jeremiah. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for enjoying my shenanigans, because apparently when they're watching, he's glued to the TV. He smiles. He laughs at me. He's not the first person to laugh at me, that's for sure, and he won't be the last. But nonetheless, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Brian, what's up, Papa? Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. So let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. The next top of the morning topic: the Bulls. Wow, this is a little slow today. I don't know why. I really don't know why it's not coming up. This is crazy. It's really, really, really slow. Steve, what the heck? Here we go. The Bulls open the season today as they host the OKC Thunder at the United Center. Tip-off at 7 p.m. That game's on NBC Sports Chicago on the TV side, and 6:70 a.m. on the radio side. I'm not that excited. I love the Bulls. I love the organization. But what's different? What is different? You want to run it back with the same guys, the majority of the core? What do you got, like 9 or 10 out of the 12 guys are returning from last year? 8 out of 12? Come on, man. And we didn't do anything last year. So what's for us to get excited about? What's for us to get excited about? I don't know. We'll see. Zach's being more mature. I don't know. DeMar's a year older. Zach's a year older. Vooch is a year older. I don't know. I don't No. But, oh well, they're starting tonight at the United Center. Okay. Well, let's get this. The next top of the morning topic. The Bears return to practice today up at Hallis Hall. They're getting ready for their matchup on Sunday Night Football. What are we doing? You're killing me, Smalls. Sunday Night Football. Oh, man, it's not coming up, huh? This is really bothersome. Really, really bothersome. Here we go. Took you long enough, you son of a biscuit. And I even put the wrong one up. Anyway, Sunday night they play the Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium. Kickoff is 7:20. That's local. And that game is going to be on Channel 5 on NBC. You can listen to the game on AM 1000. They are flagship station. And there are a lot of questions going on about Tyson Bagent, Justin Fields, offensive line. I don't know. I've had this debate with a lot of people, and it's interesting. Coach Wanstead was listening to him yesterday talk, and he said that if Bagent wins and his team is moving and Justin Fields is ready the next week, he's staying with Bagent. Right? Interesting. Not to take, I would go. You know, but here's my issue. Is Justin going to get that same game plan? Is Justin going to get that same game plan? Okay. You know, I think, and I don't think Bagent is the next coming of Kurt Warner. All right. Or hell, even Eric Kramer. But I will tell you this. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a very good to great backup quarterback. And the more he plays, the longer that Justin's out, the more he gets comfortable in that system, the better he's going to be. And I'm telling you now, October 25th. I know I said it before 2 days ago, October 23rd, but I'm saying it again. Where I think they might be all in on Justin. And having Justin and Tyson Bagent together as a 1-2 combo, as your starter and as your backup. No controversy whatsoever. I believe having those two as in your quarterback room, and then you draft one every year if you want, or every other year, and you develop them and keep them on a practice squad or whatever. But I think moving forward, that's the best course of action. I think that's what they're going to do. So what if Bagent throws 5 touchdown passes this week and we win big? If Bagent throws 5 touchdown passes, then here's what you do. You tell Justin Fields to sit out in one more week. You know, because my thing is you shouldn't, and this is one of the rules, the old school rules, that you don't lose your job due to an injury. You know, I'd tell him, because here's the issue. You say, Shorty, you're asking, well, what if Bagent throws 5 touchdown passes? Justin threw 4 touchdown passes 2 weeks in a row. which is why I say have Justin say, hey, you know what? Because here's their schedule. Here's their schedule. And it could work out. It could work out perfectly. All right. It could work out perfectly because here's how the schedule goes. You're at the Chargers. You're at New Orleans. Okay. So if Justin's out this week, that'll be 2 weeks. New Orleans, 3 weeks. Carolina comes here 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Wow, that's a long time. Damn, I thought the bye was sooner. Well, you just got to let it play out. You got to let it play out because So you were there, Shorty? You said you talked to George McCaskey at the Raiders game instead of Bateman throws 5 TDs this week. Trade Justin. His response, I hope we do. That's funny. That's funny. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. No, I think you keep Justin. I think you keep him. I think you keep Bagent. Justin, like I said, everyone, you're throwing a hypothetical. So, this was actually true. So you're at the game. I said, I hope we do. Well, if that's what he said, maybe he tipped his hand a little bit. And then you have to read. You should have read an article by Scoop Jackson in Sunday's Chicago Sun-Times. Go look that up, and he talks about it. But listen, we got to take a quick break because on the other side of the break, we're gonna switch gears, talk a little basketball. Then we're gonna get to baseball, and then football, and we're gonna finish up at 10:30 with Lauren Cox. But my man, Buzz, he's coming up next. Brad Squires is coming up. We got some basketball to talk. So don't go anywhere, folks. Let's keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
He's getting man-to-man.
Pressure up the middle, looking for Adams, deflected and in. On 3rd and 5, Raiders rush 4. Bagent looking over the field, and he finds the open man, Tyler Scott, for a first down.
Passes for a Division I passer.
Here's Foreman up the field, made a man miss. Deontay Foreman with his best run. From the 2, Foreman up the middle, backing his way in. That's a touchdown.
Double teams across the board. And here goes Deontay Foreman. He knows exactly where to go. Downhill, attitude-type play.
Going back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox. Hit the wrong button. Supposed to have some Bulls highlights, but I hit the wrong button. That's all right. That's okay. Because my next guest is we're going to talk a little Bulls basketball. And he's a good friend of the program. You've seen him on here plenty of times. He's with the On Tap Sportsnet, and you can find him on Twitter at BuzzOnTap. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Brad Squires. Brad, what's up, Baba? Good morning.
Hey, man, what's going on?
How you doing, dude?
Oh, I'm living the dream, dude. I'm at work, waiting for the Bulls to start tonight at 7 p.m., just counting down the hours. I'm ready, dude. I'm ready.
So what do you have to get excited about? They're running back the same squad, or the majority of it. Obviously, no team ever stays it's the same completely. But they're running back the squad pretty much the same thing. What are you seeing, and what should we get excited about for the Bulls this year?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah,
great.
no.
Great having you on, Brad. We'll talk soon.
No problem. We love you, buddy. We love you. We'll see you later. No, I mean, Shawn, this is what I said in the offseason when I was on back in August. They didn't do much of anything. They added Javon Carter. They added Torrey Craig. They have Julian Phillips, second-round pick. The rotation is going to basically stay the same, other than seeing both of Javon Carter and Torrey Craig in the rotation. Nothing else has changed. Dalen Terry didn't do anything of note in summer league. He didn't do anything of note in preseason, so he's not going to be in. So all the fans that are crying for Dalen Terry, he won't be in either, because he's just not. He was outplayed basically by anybody who held the basketball on that roster. This is the same exact team, and it is the same exact story of waiting for one of Kobe White or Patrick Williams to take the next step that we've been being told about for the last couple of years, and hoping that gets the Bulls not just a play-in berth, but an actual playoff berth. That's what they are. That's what they're going to be, and they have a huge test tonight to start off their season at home against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
You know, I went off on a rant last week, and it was really just, I was tired. I'm tired. You know, I went off on, and it was a multiple sports. No one was saved. All right. It was Patrick Williams. It was Justin Fields. It was Tim Anderson. It was Yoel Moncada. And you know how much I love me some yo-yo. You know, I love me some yo-yo. But Jesus Christ, dude, like all those people I mentioned, like, how long do we need to wait for you to develop? Patrick Williams, this is your 4th year in the league. You know what I mean? Like, okay, at some particular point, you have to stop deferring to DeMar and Zach. All right, that's not. If you're a baller, then you don't give a damn who's on the court. All right, but we coddle them, or we don't develop them. We send people, we trade them off, and all of a sudden we get shit like Lowry. All of a sudden now Lowry's an all-star, looking like a freaking stud. All right, how long do we wait for him? Do we not develop these guys? Is that what we knew? Because that was the last regime. We know damn well they didn't develop them. But they got a whole player development department. Do you see any of these players? Do you think any of them have been developed? I'm talking like Kobe White. I'm talking Ayo. I'm talking some of the younger guys who should take a next step. This is Ayo's what, 2nd year, 3rd year now?
3rd year.
3rd year. And he stayed in college for 3 years. So it's not like he's coming out as a freshman. That was Patrick's excuse for a while. Well, he was a freshman. Well, Io stayed 3 years. Are we going to see any development from these guys, from this front office?
As far as the front office goes, I don't know. We haven't seen it yet. And even their talent evaluation could be put into question, Shawn, because you just brought up Lowry Markkanen. They had Lowry Markkanen when they got here.
Yeah, they did.
So that's something to keep in note. Kobe White's development, I feel like more so came on Kobe White's work ethic of wanting to not, fall out of I'm not saying he was going to fall out of completely a rotation, but you heard his name in trade rumors. I think Kobe likes it here. I think he wanted to get an extension on his rookie contract, and they came to the deal. They signed that 3-year deal in the offseason. I've seen him develop. I don't know if that's through the Bulls or if that's through his own goodwill. Patrick Williams hasn't developed to me at all.
No.
At all. Anybody could say, well, look at his first step and look at how he moves. Yeah, the talent is there. Sure. Yeah, there's some talent there. I mean, he's a big body. He can defend. He can move quickly. He can shoot the rock at a high percentage from 3. But when he does the aggressiveness, it's usually your 3 for 12 field goal stat line. And that's what you're getting out of him. I'm so under on Pat. Since draft day in 2020, I was under on Pat. I don't believe that Pat is that guy. And it's not Patrick Williams' fault that he was drafted 4th in the NBA draft in 2020. Okay. Like, he was a 6th man at Florida State University. So everybody needs to keep in mind of that. No matter what the raw tools are, if you don't have it up here, then you're not going to be able to get the job done. And he's lost his, come on. Last season alone, he lost his starting spot to Alex Caruso and Javonte Green, for God's sake. That's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about this year. He was benched in favor of Torrey Craig. You ask any casual NBA fan, hey, who's Torrey Craig? If you don't play 2K, you don't know how that is. I'm serious. I'm not trying to be a dick. No one knows who I am either. That's fine. I don't care. But I'm just saying, like, that's what they're doing right now. And they have not improved. I don't understand Arturas Karnisovas, and I don't understand Mark Eversley. I don't know what they're seeing. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know why they didn't think to blow it up. And I saw a comment that Zach is starting the season healthy. That was actually said as well on the Bulls on Tap show that we did last week at the it was the preseason ending show into season review show. Mm-hmm. And that was the same thing Goose said. Will Zach start the season off healthy? Oh, okay. So Zach can do it by himself then. Well, he's got DeMar. DeMar is not getting any younger. He's in the 3rd year of his contract. He's looking for a hefty extension. The Bulls have painted themselves in a corner. If they don't exceed our expectations this season, by the time the NBA trade deadline comes around, you're going to see some movement, or you should, because last year we thought we were going to see movement and we didn't. But this year you really don't have a choice. You signed Vooch to the extension. You have Zach on the 2nd year of his max deal, and you have DeMar getting ready to go, unless he's extended or traded. So they have a lot to figure out. Again, this team is I'm not going to say bottom of the barrel Eastern Conference team, Shawn, but they're going to be 40-42, and they're going to be in the play-in, and that's what's going to happen again.
Guys, we're joined by Brad Squires from the OnTap Sportsnet talking Bulls basketball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, I don't see I really don't see any reason to get excited as well. And you know what? And it hurts my soul because I love the Bulls. All right, I was in college when they won in 91, 92, 93. All right, I got to talk shit to the Boston Celtics fans and when I was in Worcester, my New York Knicks fans. My roommate from college is a Knicks, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was able to talk shit, and how far the franchise has fallen is embarrassing. Nothing short of embarrassing. And then they run this back, the same team for all intents and purposes. And I agree with you. Their talent evaluation has to be looked at. And Dalen Terry, come on now. And I do think Patrick Williams can be a stud, but you said it's here for him.
It's all in his head. It's all in his head.
We've seen him take over games when DeMar and Zach are not there. We've seen him take over summer league games. We've seen him take over preseason games. We've seen him take over regular season games when those guys aren't there. Why won't he do it when he's there? Or why doesn't Billy just put him? What? So here's one of my issues with Billy. If you see this, because I see it, so obviously Billy and everybody, the whole coaching staff should see it. He plays better without them on the court. He doesn't defer. So then, you know what? Get your ass on the second unit. I need you to go ham. You don't rebound that well, so I ain't gonna worry about that. I just need you to score. Give me 16 to 20 off the bench with the second unit, and that how much would that help the first unit getting at least 20 points from him off the bench? But they won't do it.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you're a fan, just like I'm a fan. I've basically dedicated all my time within On Tap now to cover the Bulls. You know me, I'm still flying around with the Sox and the Bears and just being depressed all the time. But that's a story for a beer with me and you, not live on the air. Yeah, I digress. I'm gonna let that go. But I look at all of this and I kind of put it into a nutshell, because what you just said is like, okay, we've seen this guy do A, B, and C. Right? Preseason takeover, summer league looking good. He had that game against Minnesota season before that, where he looked real good, dropped 20-something points. If that's the case here, and he does have that talent, and he is his trajectory is being, I guess, stumped by Zach and DeMar being there, it's being cut short. Why wouldn't the front office be like, we're not going to win a championship? We've given picks away. Why don't you just go with the rebuild? No, well, most fans don't want to hear a rebuild. But what would you rather have? This mediocrity that we've been stuck in since 2005?
Yeah.
That was like what was the last series that you got hyped for besides the 2011 playoffs when Derrick Rose helped get us to the Eastern Conference Finals? Was it 05 or 06 when they beat Miami, like Kirk, Ben, Luol, all those guys? I mean, this has been 15 years, 16 years of just incompetence, and it doesn't matter who you bring in because it's the same shit over and over again. Now, I don't, like I said, I try not to put all this hate on Patrick Williams because you know how X or Twitter or whatever it's called now, how people react to things. Like, I understand he didn't ask to be drafted fourth, but we need more from him to not just be this middle-of-the-road team. Per your draft position, per your skill set, you should be better than what you are. So if that's on the Bulls training staff, if that's on the Bulls player development staff, if that's on Billy Donovan himself, that needs to be looked at. I think that this whole thing has been a train wreck since Lonzo Ball went down. We had 35 games of excellence, and it all went to hell since there. I'm sick of hearing about Lonzo Ball. He's not walking through the door this season. We need to look at the now and not the why. That's what we need to look at. It's the now. You need to say, listen, we need to pick if you start the season off, when is the All-Star break? I'd say probably 48 to 50 games in.
Give or take, yeah.
Something like that. So if you're 10 and 15 and you're 5 games under, and we saw that last year, them inching and getting this close to getting back to 500, inching. How many times they did it last year? How many times I was on this show last year talking about it? If they do 10 and 15 or something like that, you need to blow it up. It needs to be done and over with if you think Patrick Williams is the guy. Now, if you don't think he's the guy, he still needs to blow up. You need to take every asset that you have and just trade it away. Because what is here? You see all these superstars that are still in the league signing these big-time contracts. What are you going to do? So, we're not even – are we even top 4 in our own division? Probably better than Detroit, but not for much longer.
Yeah,
have you seen
definitely
Detroit?
not much longer. Yeah.
It's not going to be much longer. We're not better than Milwaukee, obviously. We're not better than Cleveland. It's debatable if we're better than Indiana. It's debatable if we're better than Indiana. So then that leaves us and Detroit in the Central Division. What are we excited about? It's the same thing. The only thing that we're excited about is you and I are fucking hoop heads, and we watch all the basketball that we possibly can all the time. That's the only reason we're excited. There's no other reason for anybody else on this Bulls roster to be excited, because you're going to have to pay – if DeMar Ball's out, Shawn, you're going to have to pay a 33-year-old going on 34 an extension of upwards of $30 to $35 million a year, possibly. You and I both know that's not good for the future. I love DeMar DeRozan. He's my favorite Bull. I want him here. But I also want to win rings. Like that is the goal. I don't get up and go to work every day and be like, wow, I really hope I make somebody happy today. No, I'm coming to make that goddamn money and to win. That's what I'm coming to do. That's what they should be doing, is trying to win.
Dude, I couldn't agree with you more, because isn't that the ultimate goal? But according to Jerry Reinsdorf, that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal to come in second or just be competitive so people keep coming. But
I guess 40 and 42 is somewhat competitive, right? You're only 2 under 500, and that's the record that I picked for him. So I guess you are somewhat competitive. You're not the easiest out in the NBA.
It's frustrating because there's a lot. I want to get excited, and then as soon as I get excited, I'm like, what am I getting excited about? Right? We interviewed or we talked to Alonzo Ball, and he's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm not going to be here. I'm here. I'll be here, LA. Yeah, probably missed the whole year, but I'm here. So why do we even talk to him? So he's just he's told us what you told us, and all the rumors. All right, he's probably going to miss this season. And where are you going to, Alonzo? You going to play? Yeah, I'll probably play again, but I'll probably miss the season. So why is he here?
Well, I mean, and even speaking of that, Shawn, look at Lonzo Ball. They got the disabled players exception for him.
Mm-hmm.
They got $10 million extra for him.
Yeah.
Guess what they did with it?
Yeah. Well,
they pocketed it. They did nothing, so they didn't have to go on the luxury tax to try to get anybody else to help improve this team. So this is where we're at. This is the reality of Bulls fans, and you've known me for 6-7 years now. I mean, I was always the constant optimist.
Yeah.
But after you continue time and time again, and you just see the same story time and time again, and it's just that brass ring is right there, but you're not grabbing it. That's where the Bulls are. And now you have OKC coming in with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander ready for a leap again, because he's just getting better. Josh Giddey, Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort. I mean, you have some dogs in OKC, a mix of young talent with real talent, but then also a mix of younger guys that play like dogs. Like that's going to be a very good team. This is a huge, huge test. First home opener I'm not going to since 2014 tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, dude. Fine. I'm not going to go pay what, $80 to go sit up in the goddamn 300 level? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not watching on TV and drink a beer out of my fridge, so I got to pay $14.50
for a beer.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm tired, dude. Like you said, you're tired. I'm tired, dude. I'm tired.
Dude, you know what? That's so funny because, I've not given Reinsdorf any money. I went to one of the last couple weeks of the Sox season, and I'm like, what did I? Oh, remember the day was $1 tickets and then free parking.
Yeah.
Dude, so I went. I'm like, okay, I'll spend $1. Actually, it was 89. It was 89 cents. Actually, was a ticket, and then with the fees, it was $1. And then I'm like, okay, and free parking. So I got in for free parking, paid the 89 cents plus the fees, and I have a flask. I have a plastic flask that I fill up with my vodka.
There you go. Ain't no wrong
and brought it in. So I ended up spending $7 on a bottle of Sprite. So I spent more for the bottle of Sprite than I did for the ticket and the parking.
It would just be my luck to me walking in there with a friggin' plastic flask and I get patted down immediately, taking me out of there, dude. You're gonna have to miss the game. Come pick me up from the jail cell.
Dude, I loved it. It was awesome. I finished about half of the pop and then I poured the rest of it. Dude, I had a buzz. I'm like, no pun intended. But I had a buzz, and it was just a great watching the Sox game, and I think they got blown out that game as well. And I'm like, who cares? I got a buzz for $7, $8.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it, Shawn. You can't beat it. That's the only way I can even watch the Bulls tonight. I gotta drink a couple Miller Lights to get my head in the game because I'm telling you, dude, like. Look it up and down on this roster. You're going to see a rotation. So I'm assuming you would assume Kobe White's going to start tonight. That's what the deal's been. So Kobe, Zach, DeMar, Pat, Vooch. It's your starting five tonight. I'm guessing your first person off the bench, probably Javon Carter.
Javon Carter, Alex.
Or Alex Caruso. Either one of those two will probably come in off the bench and give Zach or Kobe a rest because I'm assuming they're going to be staggering Zach, Kobe, and DeMar as best as Billy can. So you keep a scoring prowess on the court, somebody who can create their own shot.
Right.
Because, again, Pat can't do it right now. Vooch can go in the post and get it done. This is a very physical Oklahoma City team. I don't know how that's going to look. I know on the offensive end, they're going to be drawing Vooch out a lot. So he's going to be out on the elbow or on the perimeter guarding. So he's going to have a hard night running back and forth, up and down. It's not going to be a typical kind of night for him. So, I don't know, man. My prediction for tonight ain't so great. Anything can happen in the NBA, but I mean, when you look at it as a whole instead of just a piece, I don't think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm not picking the Bulls to win this one either. If they do, kudos to you, but I don't think it's going to be something that they're able to sustain the whole year. Because I don't trust them. You know what? And it's a shame. It's very similar to the last regime. All right, very similar, and that's really, really, really. It's a crime. It's basically a crime. It's a goddamn shame that we bring in new people. I was excited about Arturas Karnisovas and Eversley. Like, look what this dude did in Denver. They got a squad over there. Didn't they just win the NBA title or something?
I think they did. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right. And now, and most of the guys over there are people that the team he constructed. So, what kind of excitement should we have gotten when hell yeah we were fired up, and then for him to do this shit? So, my question is is he really able to do what he wants to do? Because he did it one place, and then now he's coming here. He's making poor. He drafts Patrick Williams. He's trade. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the moves he makes are not similar to the moves he made in Denver. And to me, that's something's wrong when you don't make we're creatures of habit. You're going to do the same things, and especially when you see the thing that you started to create and you didn't see it come to fruition in Denver, but you see it, from afar how it turned out. You figured those same types of moves will be made here, and they're not. Is there someone over his head? Is John Paxson who got fired up? Literally.
He's still an advisor.
Is he still making moves? Is like Kenny on the white side, on the south side, told us he was making moves before. What's going on, and why do you think AK is making still such questionable moves at best?
I think he put himself into a corner when he got here. I think he did that first year of evaluation, which is something that I really appreciated as a fan, to see what you have. With Wendell Carter Jr., Lauri Markkanen, Denzel Valentine at the time. You had Zach, you got Kobe. You had that roster. So he takes that first year and he looks over that. We get into the NBA trade deadline in 2020, and that's when he moves for Nikola Vucevic for Wendell Carter Jr., still keeps Lauri Markkanen on the team. So then he goes into the offseason. DeMar DeRozan's floating out there. He understands that he has I'd say a constant, if healthy, all-star in Zach LaVine, because Zach LaVine scores a lot of points. If you average 25 and 5, you should be an all-star. I think you agree with that. I think I agree with that. We saw Zach doing that. I think he had what he thought could be at least offensive star on his roster. I don't understand the construction of putting DeMar DeRozan next to Zach LaVine. Yes, they had the 35 games of excellence, but remember, they played 82 since then, another season, and all on top of that 35 games, what was left in 2021 as well. It works in a way where you're, again, mediocre. I think he just painted himself into a corner with the Vooch trade, with the DeMar trade, with Alonzo. He gave up too many picks, and this is where we're at now. He went for it immediately instead of trying to build something. Then that kind of goes back to your previous point of Denver. Now, he was involved in some of those decisions. He was a big factor in getting Nikola Jokic over here as well to Denver. So when you look at it, does he deserve another chance, when you start getting into 2025, when you have your picks back? And do you give him another opportunity? You know what? If it doesn't work out at this deadline, you blow it up. You stack up picks, any picks that you can get your hands on, stack them up. Get some young talent in these trades for Zach, DeMar, or whoever you can move, and then go from there. If that's what he's going to do, I don't really – they're not going to move on from him in another rebuild. They're going to give him a chance because his argument right away is what? I tried to compete from the word jump, and it didn't work. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he got into his head and he tried doing more than he should have, but as far as player development goes, it's been bad. As far as personnel moves have gone, outside of Lonzo Ball being healthy, it has looked bad and underwhelming. And as far as player, evaluation within the draft itself, you're looking at draft picks such as Ayo Dosunmu, who is arguably done the most since being drafted by Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley. Arguably has done more than Patrick Williams, has for damn sure done more than Dalen Terry. And that's a second-round pick. So does the guy know what he's doing? I have no idea. But again, another point you made, 3 years in college has you a little bit ready for the league when you get in there. You're not fully ready. You're not even halfway ready, but you're a little prepared. You've been playing bigger bodies in college. You understand the thoughts and the movements of an offense and a defense. You can get in there. That's why I think Ayo excelled in his rookie year. But if you look at last year, what happened? Sophomore slump, big time. Loses his starting job, Shawn, loses all that stuff. So I don't know what these guys are doing. I have no idea what the front office of the Bulls thinks. All I know is it's exhausting as a fan. It's really exhausting as somebody who covers it because it's the same shit for the last 2 years we've been talking about.
It really has. It's literally Groundhog's Day when it comes to Bull season, literally. Brad, great stuff, Papa. I appreciate it. Do me a favor before you go, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Oh, absolutely. So you can find any of my written content or any other Chicago sport written content over at ontapsportsnet.com. You can go to our YouTube. We're about 40 away from 1,000 subscribers on the On Tap YouTube. We're kind of old, so we just started kind of doing the YouTube thing. I don't know how to work any of that shit. I'm 32, but I'm computer illiterate. Shawn has to send me the link just to get in here. And you can follow me on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, at Buzz on Tap.
Great stuff. How your thoughts on this Bears situation and Tyson Bagent?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I absolutely love it. And I don't love it because it's not that I don't like Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is a motherfucking dog, to be honest with you. I think he's a tough kid. I think that he's got a cannon. And I wonder if last week, if Justin Fields would have played the Raiders, if he would have had 4 touchdowns in the first half. I don't know. But what I will tell you is I think it's a healthy thing to have somebody always being like, is this my job or not? Because I got to step up a little bit if it isn't. I think healthy quarterback competition is a good thing. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, yeah, it's Bagent 0. I heard that on the radio today. They named him Bagent 0.
Bagent 0, yeah.
What the he played one game, Shawn.
One game that he managed very well. One game that he didn't win it. He managed it very well, and now you got the nickname.
Isn't that so funny? I don't mean to stay on your show and take your show, but
don't worry.
Isn't it so goddamn funny to you? It's just like, listen, he managed the game. He did a good job. The defense was really goddamn good too.
Yeah, they were.
And so was Deontay Foreman. That was a team effort win there. So it was not just all Tyson Bagent. He did enough to help the team win the game, just like everybody else did.
Here's a crazy idea. He did his job. Holy cow. Holy sheesh. He did his job.
In today's day and age, brother, doing your job, you get rewarded. I don't know if you knew that or not.
It's I like it. I like this kid. He's got moxie. I asked him in last week. I said, moving forward, I was like, are you confident how confident are you that you could lead this team to victory against the Raiders? And he says, he looks me right in the eye and he's like, very confident. I'm like, oh, okay. So then Sunday I was like, I asked you last week how confident were. I said, you looked me dead in the face and said, very confident. I was like, where does it come from? And he's like, and he said what I've been saying all week. He said, I played a lot of football because I started.
Yeah, he got so many reps. I mean, look at high school and college for him.
He started as a sophomore. 7 years. As a sophomore. Yeah. But his last 2 years in college, he had 579 yards, 579 attempts passing. His junior year, 572 attempts.
That's wild.
His senior year. Dude, his 579 attempts are as much as Justin Fields had his junior and senior, or more than Justin Fields had his junior and senior year at Ohio State. For his last 2 seasons at Ohio State. So, and I know it's Division II, but football's football. There's going to be, it's just the talent level is different. There's not going to be a situation, and and that's basically what he said. I've just played a lot of football.
Right.
So, but I like it.
One more thing before I leave you too. I forgot to tell you this. If you get the chance tonight, because it's the home opener, I know you did last year. We'll be live right after the game on Bulls on Tap on the On Tap YouTube. If you want to stop in again.
All right, cool, man. Cool. I'll try. All right. Cool, man. Thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
All right, we love you, brother. You take care and have a good day. Go Bulls.
Yeah, baby. See red. Guys, that's Brad Squires from the On Tap Sportsnet. Talking Bulls. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. But we'll see. The new spring's eternal. Whatever. Whatever. That's basically what it is. Whatever. Hey, let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we'll talk a little baseball. So don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya on Sports Zone Chicago.
Fields a run for 17. Back he goes. Here comes Chubb. There goes the ball. Touchdown! Jones about at the left tackle. Time for Fields. Now he'll accelerate to get the first down. Great tackles, and he's off to the races. And he got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. it is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too. These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Another great performance by the defense. How did you feel about the way? What did you think of Bajan's poise in his first NFL start? How did he handle the huddles and all the things that you have to do to be a winning quarterback?
I think he was just himself. Nothing different. Nothing any different than we've seen through preseason up until now. I think we all expected him to be that type of guy and come out there and do what he did today. So no surprises from us at all.
What has gone into your progress as a pass catcher?
I mean, I feel like I could always catch the ball. My one drive early in the game was terrible. Yeah, I mean, I've always been confident in my ability to catch the ball. Just never had really a lot of opportunities to do so. So, like I said, just when I get those opportunities, I take advantage of it.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That was Dante Foreman Sunday after the game. Getting his chance. Finally got his chance. I'm excited. I hope they continue to give him another shot. I hope they continue to, by another shot, I mean 20 carries. I think he got 16, 17 carries. Get to do 20 carries. Get him, what do you have, 18 carries? I could tell you in a second. But, you know, it's, there you go. Deontay Foreman, 16 carries. You know, come on. He only had 16 carries for 89 yards. You've got to get him 20. All right, you got to get him 20. It's literally just that simple. You know, in Coach Eberflus talks about, you know, the flow of the game, and we got to see how it plays out. And I get it. I understand. But there's also, and this is the why I keep asking him about identity. Because if you have an established identity, guess what? You stick to that identity. If your identity is that you run the ball, remember, Lovey said we're going to get off the bus running. So if your identity is you run the ball, you're a running team, then you're going to run the ball 38 times consistently every week. And you're going to have a bell cow. Now, trust me, it was a good mix last week. 16 and 14. Darrington Evans had 14 carries. But give D'Onta Foreman more carries because he's doing more work. And if that means that you have less passes, then they have less passes, damn it. Because right now, the formula this year, is run the ball. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Here's a crazy idea. It works in football. Shh. When you run the ball, good things happen. I don't want anyone else to know, so I had to whisper it to you guys. But don't worry. At the bottom of the hour, we're going to be joined by Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast. We're going to talk to him. But let's talk a couple other things that are kind of important. So I didn't forget about you guys. NLCS last night, Game 7. My girl Sierra Santos and her Arizona Diamondbacks, they were in Philly, so she flew there. Win Game 6 on Monday and Game 7 on Tuesday in Philly to advance to the World Series. That's difficult. All right. Cub fans, you should appreciate this. You went to Cleveland and won. Well, you won 3 in a row. You're down 3-1. You had to win 3. But the last 2 games were in Cleveland. So Cub fans, you should be appreciative, or you should appreciate exactly what the Arizona Diamondbacks did. And just think about it. With Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. Those 2 jokers. Yeah. Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Philadelphia Phillies 4-2 in Game 7. They're heading to the World Series, their second World Series, the first since 2001. If you remember that, because I don't know how old you are if you're watching, if you remember that World Series, that was against the Yankees. That got pushed back due to the attacks. All right, that was 22 years ago, September 11th. Which is why Derek Jeter's called Mr. November. If you don't know, if you know your baseball history, who's Mr. October? Who's Mr. October? If you don't know, I'll give it another few seconds. Put it in the chat. Who's known as Mr. October? Had his own candy bar and everything, the whole 9. It was crazy. I used to love it. I used to like his candy bar. It's more like a turtle type deal, but it was good. No one yet in the chat knows who Mr. October is? No, I'm waiting. Brendan or Brian. I say Brendan Hendren. Brian, very good. Reggie Jackson. Yes, Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. All right, he went ham in the World Series, 3 pitches, 3 homers. Cornelius, you got it. Junior got it. I'm glad I knew Junior knew it. But and then because of the attacks, excuse me, everything got postponed. World Series went into November. And that was the year that the Diamondbacks won it. Now, Derek Jeter had a phenomenal series, and he's been called Mr. November. Because remember, I think the Yankees won 5 while Derek Jeter was there. So that was the last time the Arizona Diamondbacks won. The base hit over the head of Mariano Rivera. That was it. So, Game 1. Game 1 of the World Series starts Friday. Friday night, it's going to be at Texas and Arlington. First pitch is 7:03. It's going to be all the games are on Fox. All the games start at 7:03. I'm not even that excited about it. You know, I'm not. You know, I look at Texas, and they have a manager there who the White Sox didn't even consider worthy enough to interview. And never mind the 3 World Series titles he had in San Francisco. Cub fans, you remember him in San Francisco. 2010, 2012, and 2014 in San Francisco. He was the manager of the Giants. But the White Sox didn't find it in their heart or didn't think it was necessary or prudent to interview this guy. And what have we talked about? What have we talked about all season? Bruce Bochy had those Texas Rangers playing some good baseball. Good baseball. Well, now they're in the World Series. I don't have a dog in the fight. I couldn't care less who wins. I don't know. I'm happy. I mean, I'll check it out, I guess. Shorty, I've been in a cave. Who's in this year's World Series? Well, Texas Rangers won last night, or 2 nights ago, excuse me. And last night, the Arizona Diamondbacks came back from being down 3-2 on the road, winning both games in Philadelphia to advance to the World Series. So the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers are in the 2023 World Series. That's funny, Shorty. That's funny. I've been in a cave. Oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. But I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm looking forward to the World Series to check it out a little bit. I'm not going to be, I'll check it out when I can. I don't know. I'm not that excited. No, none of our teams, like at least if the Cubs win it, I can root against the Cubs. You know what I mean? The White Sox, obviously, I'm rooting for the White Sox, but the White Sox are so far away from even getting to this point. They just got to get to the playoffs. Let's try winning our division first and getting it to the playoffs. Okay? Let's try that. Let's try it. See how it works out. Mr. Shorty's been, and he's like, it's been Bears, and more Bears for me this year. I get you. I hear you. And he said once the Cubs were out, he lost interest. I understand. It was, that's cool. But in case you do want to watch some baseball tonight, all right, World Series, or not tonight, but World Series. World Series. Going into this Bears thing. It's interesting when I see, I hear people and I see people, and like I said, people, you can have your opinions, right? It's a free country. You just get so many of these dumb takes by people. You're just like, did you really seriously consider that? Because, and here's the thing, people love to say, there are no such thing as dumb questions. No, there are. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of dumb questions that are asked. especially when you're asking someone to reiterate what they just said. Because you weren't paying attention. So, what was? Can you ask? What? If you're paying attention, you would have heard. But anyway, I digress. I'm looking forward to this week. I don't know if I agree with Coach Wanstead, but I do agree with Brad. I do think Justin, whenever he comes back, whether he's given the job or not, whether he's given his job back or not, I think Justin feels the heat. I think he feels it. I mean, he may claim he doesn't go on social media, but you got people, you got friends. Everybody, all your family and friends go on social media. Okay? And they're hearing what people say. They're hearing, oh, Tyson Bagent's the new guy, Tyson this, Tyson that. And then you watch the game. You're not dumb. You were there. You're at Soldier Field. Justin, you watched the game. And you saw the moxie of this kid. You saw the playmaking ability of this kid. Now, again, it wasn't a perfect game. I'm not putting him in the Pro Bowl or an All-Pro or even Canton. But if you feel and you felt the Tyson Bagent love, you felt the magic that he had. And I think when you come back as a competitor, you're going to want to say, hey, this guy's really good, but guess what? I'm better. That's my personal opinion. Brandon Schutz is joining us. Good morning, Papa. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Sure, you might be right. Justin might want out of Chicago. Maybe he doesn't like this offensive coordinator. Maybe he doesn't like this scheme. Maybe they butt heads too much over how he's being used. Maybe. But, I'm forever a Justin guy. Russell, what's up, Papa? Look at Stroud. Young and Richardson first start. Bagent was way better. Yeah, Cornelius, it will prove. And that's exactly what I'm saying right now. Justin's going to put all these rumors to rest. Put all these rumors to rest. Or put it this way. If he's a competitor that we think he is and wants to lead this franchise to a Super Bowl, then he will. Because if he wants out of Chicago, this is your trip to Chicago is being paved with Tyson Bagent. You can come back and just have shit games. And have them say, yeah, okay, well, we can move on from Justin. But if you're a competitor, and I'm telling you, I don't think he would do that. I think he likes it here in Chicago. I think he enjoys the city, enjoys the fans. But there's something that's not clicking. There's something that's not clicking because the 2 weeks prior, averaged 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in those 2 games. And then the week he gets hurt, he's missed it. He's forgetting assignments. His own on the first one, run away from the unblocked defender on your left side. This run game really. Here's the thing that I'm getting ready to ask Lauren, who's coming on at the bottom of the hour. Do you leave Tevin Jenkins at right guard now? Because he went to right guard, Cody went to left guard, Lucas Patrick went to center. Do you leave Tevin Jenkins at right guard? Because if you do, what does that mean for Nate Davis? What does that mean for Nate Davis? You gave him 3 years, $30 million. He had the family situation where his mother was sick and he wasn't there around the facility a lot. Then you put Tevin Jenkins next to Darnell Wright. That's a hell of a combo. That's a hell of a side of an offensive line. So now, did you put Nate to the left? Or has he always been a right guard? Or do you cut him? I don't know. I don't remember how much of his contract was guaranteed. Let's find out. Nate Davis. 4-year. No. Wrong Nate Davis. Nate Davis. There we go. Here we go. Nate Davis. Here it is. 3 years, $30 million, including a $6 million signing bonus and 19.25 million is guaranteed. Damn. So he's here for a minute. He's here for all 3 years, or at least the first 2. But what do you do? Because the way the offensive line looked on Sunday, amazing. But now you have a stud right side of the offensive line. And did you see, and here's one of the things that I don't know if you guys realize that something's wrong with Darnell Wright's left shoulder. There was one particular, a lot of plays you see him, he's blocking people, Max Crosby in particular, with one hand. With one hand. And Tevin Jenkins was there often just to give him a little bump. He's holding him. Tevin comes over, boom, knocks that dude up, Crosby over a little more. Tevin is nasty, dude. Tevin is nasty. He's nasty. I love it. I mean, there's so many times that he gave Max Crosby a rib tickler. When you get hit in the ribs, it's called a rib tickler. Have you ever had cracked ribs or broken ribs? You know it's not fun. Not fun at all. In 06 is when I had cracked my ribs in championship game. The game to decide whether or not we were going down to Florida to play in a national championship game. I cracked my ribs on my right side, and I couldn't breathe very heavily. I couldn't. We had to go. We needed a drive to run out the clock. Defense came up with a big stop. We had the ball. We needed a drive. I think we needed 1 first down or 2 first downs. All I know is remember I got the first down. I didn't tell coach. I was like, oh, no, I did tell coach. I said, coach, I think I cracked my ribs. They gotta go put this guy in there. I'm like, hell no. I said, the hell you are. I was like, I don't trust. I don't remember who the backup was. Like, I don't trust this dude. I said, I'm not going to let our appearance in the national championship game hinder on this kid, because you're going to run the ball. They're going to be fighting and poking and punching and, So I went back in. And yeah, that was so bad. Having cracked ribs is not fun. And when you see Tevin Jenkins and it's legal, give him a shot to the ribs, face mask to the ribs while he's engaged. You just can't take him low if he's engaged. And that set the tone. So I hope they take advantage of it. I hope they continue this, as I said earlier. Give me the same God-blessed game plan. Same one. same one this week. So Tyson feels a lot more comfortable. Like I said on Monday, once you win, like you can have all the confidence in the world or truly believe you're going to win, but not until you win do you truly, truly embrace it. Because something could go wrong. Something could have gone wrong. But once you win, the confidence level, getting the monkey off your back, getting your first NFL win, man, his confidence level has got to be through the roof. So I wish him well. I want him to continue to do well. I hope he throws 2 or 3 touchdowns. Shit, why not? I don't think it's Justin's job. I don't think Justin's going to lose his job. I just think that he's come in as a backup. And we saw he didn't throw anything over 15 yards. Come on. They took him out for a Hail Mary. For God's sake. But I think he's a phenomenal, excellent backup. Well, listen, let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we'll have more Bears talk. My guy Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast is going to join us. We're going to talk Bears, baby. I'm fired up. We're going to finish up the show with some Bears convo. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Off the fake. Fields against the grain. Finds Jesse James. Field. With time. Delivers down the field. Fake one way to Fields. Stumbling. Trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
911, operator 901. Where's the emergency?
127 Brymere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency line.
How long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am, whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
First down. Hoyer under pressure. Down he goes. Justin Jones with his first sack of the year. First and goal. Toss. Jacobs in trouble. Down he goes. Jack Sanborn all over that play.
Lines won't suffice.
Hoyer's long pass of the day is 15 yards, and it's intercepted, picked off by Jalen Johnson. Johnson, untouched for the touchdown. A game at home.
Well, Jalen Johnson never got out of his back pedal. He was just shadowing Devontae Adams. Wasn't scared of him running by. We talked about those.
1st and 10. O'Connell going deep, and it's intercepted again. Jalen Johnson.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox. Big win by our boys on Sunday. What should have been their 4th win in a row. All right, should have had the Denver game. How about you kick the field goal, Eberflus, you son of a biscuit? Kick the field goal. And then the Minnesota game, they just gave it to them and said, "Hey, we don't really want this. You guys can have it." It would have been their 4th win in a row, but it's not. All right. Reality is that it's not. They're not. They don't have a 4-game winning streak. They ended a losing streak. Something that I'm excited about. I'm really, really happy for them to get the win. I think very happy they got the win with Bajent. And my next guest, I'm gonna ask him a lot of questions about this because there's a lot of controversy, especially on Twitter, X, whatever you call it. I try not to get too much into it because there's just a whole bunch of blithering idiots on there who are just crazy. So my next guest is a good friend of the program, and you've seen him on here plenty of times. He's with the Locked On Bears podcast. You can find him on Twitter at Cox Sports One with the C, just like Fox Sports One, but with a C. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Lauren and Cox. Lauren, what's up, buddy? Good morning.
Hey, thanks for having me back on. And I noticed your highlight reel package there, all defensive highlights. Isn't that fun to see again? It's been a while.
Unbelievable. Great to see. Great to see the defense really establishing the dominance that they dominate themselves that they can be, but they're getting better. You know, it's improvement is not linear, and sometimes, especially in sports, it clicks. You know, and it clicks, and from one week you're kind of good, next week like, whoa, where did that come from? And I think that's what kind of hit us last week with where did that come from? And not that we didn't get a lot of pressures or sacks, no, because we just got the Justin Jones one. But we were just shutting them down. We were just literally shut them down. We'll start on the defensive side of the ball since you brought it up. Talk to me about Jalen Johnson. What do you think that did to his negotiating power?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason I think he mentions in his interview with 670 The Score this week that, hey, we're talking. And he certainly knows that his leverage is as high as it's ever been right now. And to me, this is an important facet of Jalen Johnson's game that I think the Bears want to see. I mean, up to this point, he had 1 career interception in 3 seasons and some change, and now he's tripled that with 3. And I think he had a forced fumble, like 2 forced fumbles up until this season. Like the turnovers in general had been a little bit lacking, and that's one of those things where if you're Ryan Poles in these contract negotiations, I think no one's saying that Jalen Johnson's not a very good player. It's just how much do you pay him, and if he wants to be paid like the top cornerbacks in the NFL, then you start to nitpick a little bit and say, okay, Jalen, you might be you're really great in coverage. We love that. But, Jari Alexander, the number 1 paid cornerback in football, he gets a lot of turnovers. Where are your turnovers? Jalen Ramsey gets a lot of turnovers. Where are your turnovers? And so now he can kind of go back and say, like, see, I can do that too. You start to give me a confident defense around us, one that can get a little pressure on the quarterback, one where I can trust the guys around me in the secondary. It's not a bunch of undrafted free agents running around out there, but guys that you've invested draft picks in and significant capital. He's playing with 3 second-round picks and Eddie Jackson with him in the secondary. Like now he can be a little bit more aggressive and trust the other guys around him a little bit more that he can take advantage of. So like it starts to build up a little bit, a much stronger case for Jalen Johnson to get the big bucks and not the medium bucks.
But people, and you talk about turnovers, and that is a very good measuring stick to determine how much they offer you. What's the value of a guy who shuts down people, literally shuts down one side of the field? All right, he didn't have a lot of turnovers because he didn't have a lot of opportunities because they didn't throw to his side. So what do you think? Do you think he can use that as leverage and then say, hey, when they do throw to my side, here's what I can do? Because he's not going to be up there in the league lead for interceptions because they just don't throw to his side enough. And especially after last week, You think teams are going to want to throw to his side anymore?
Yeah.
Talk to me about how he's going to use that leverage, those 2 picks to maximize his leverage.
Yeah, like I think you look at the like the cornerback market right now, and there's kind of like the guys at the top that are really good in coverage and generate a lot of turnovers, and then there's the guys in the second tier that are really good in coverage but don't generate a lot of turnovers. And it's about him sort of separating himself into that first group and out of that second group. Like I look at a guy like Carlton Davis from the Buccaneers, gets about $15 million a year. He just got a new contract last season as a young guy I think from the draft class before Jalen Johnson, where he's been solid in coverage, but just has never been a big turnover machine. And that's where they kind of settled on his value versus a guy like Trevon Diggs from the Cowboys, who gets a ton of turnovers and got big paid, like up to about $20 million a year. And so it's where Ryan Poles and Jalen Johnson start to meet in the middle in that conversation, somewhere between the $15 to $20 million mark, and the bigger games like this that Jalen Johnson can have, the higher Ryan Poles may end up needing to go up if you're trying to retain a player like this. And to me, it feels like if you're not willing to pay Jalen Johnson, then you might as well trade him. If you decide, you know what, we're just not going to ever get to the number that he wants to get to, then you might as well trade him and at least get something for him as opposed to letting him walk in for agency. But the better he plays like this, the more inclined you are to pay him, even with some. I have some durability questions as well, just because he's never played a full season and he usually misses a handful of games every year. And that's a lot to pay for somebody that might be there 75% of the time. But you got to reward your homegrown players. And it's not like it's been injuries that have been super debilitating or anything super long term. So I'm comfortable enough with it to say, screw it, lock this guy down.
At what point do we stop trading or getting rid of good players? See, that's my issue. Like, yes, he's good, and you know what? Maybe his demands are high, or maybe they're a little bit out of your range that you're willing to pay him. So you're just going to let more good players walk. You let Roquan walk. You traded Roquan. You traded Puerto Rican Bobby, Robert Quinn. You didn't re-sign Akeem Hicks. Who was the guy we just played? The other D lineman, Bilal Nichols on the Raiders? Yeah. So he's gone. So we just going to let all these guys walk? I mean, you have to at some point show players like they did on the offense with Cole Kmet, show players that we want to keep you. If you perform, you're a company guy, so to speak, and you perform, they can't just keep letting people walk. Lauren, I just it's counterproductive because you don't know what Terrell Smith is. You want him to be good. I do want him to be good. A kid out of Minnesota, I really want him to be good, but you don't know. With Jalen Johnson, Yeah,
and I think it becomes especially difficult when they're young like this. It's one thing when Robert Quinn is 31 or whatever. Khalil Mack was, 32 or 33 or 34 when they traded him. Like, it's one thing to say, all right, let these good older players go because they're only going to be good for so long and they're expensive and they're a young football team anyway. But like, it's the young guys like this where Jalen Johnson has not reached his peak yet. You know what I mean? Like maybe he's approaching it. Maybe he's almost there now, but like, he's not in his prime, or maybe he's just entering it. Like, this is not, you've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8+ years left of high level Jalen Johnson football. I mean, there's the rest of his career is still well in front of him. And those are the guys that you got to keep around and the guys that you got to really invest in your team. And I get it to an extent when it's like, it's not guys that Ryan Poles drafted, and it's guys that maybe he doesn't see as fitting their culture or their scheme initially, but now, like someone like Jalen Johnson in particular has proven his ability to do so. Like that's one of the things that stands out to me so much with him is like when Jalen Johnson was drafted, right? We knew press physical man corner at Utah. Maybe we'll see how the zone instincts come together. And like you saw, both of those interceptions against the Raiders were in zone coverage, and he's been a lot more comfortable, or he's gotten over time a lot more comfortable in off zone coverage in this Eberflus defense. And like, he's proving to you, hey, I can do this and I can do the press man-to-man. I can fit what you want us to do. Whereas like, maybe you could still make the excuse that like, well, they never saw Roquan Smith really settle into Eberflus's defense. And for whatever reason, it wasn't quite exactly what they wanted schematically, but Jalen Johnson has proven it. And to me, like, that's the kind of guy that you keep and make sure you keep around, because if you don't pay Jalen Johnson that money, you're going to have to spend that cap space on someone else. And generally spending a lot of money on free agents doesn't tend to go well for anybody, and when you got all this cap space, I'd rather use the $100 million of cap space to pay guys that are here that you already know are good.
Bingo.
As opposed to taking the risk on paying a big contract to somebody outside the organization, where usually like no team has a lot of success signing free agents. You just try and avoid disasters in free agency. So spend it on guys that you already are known commodity, including throw Darnell Mooney in there too. I'm not trying to pay him number one wide receiver money, but pay him. We know he's good. We know what he is and what he isn't. So keep him locked up.
Guys, we're joined by Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Defense has been getting better as we started talking. Javon Dexter Sr. looks like a man-child at times. He's just literally taking offensive linemen and putting them back to the quarterback. Does Eberflus get another defensive coordinator next year, or does he just keep calling the plays and keep that role, the dual role of head coach / D coordinator?
I think the bigger question is whether he gets to keep his role as head coach.
Yeah. Well, if this defense keeps playing the way they are and keeps improving, they're going to be a big. That's going to help out Justin in the offense. He'll be here if they keep, especially if this offense we start winning games. It's a big part of it's going to be that defense, and he'll be here.
Yeah, I think we often, in the media or even just in the fan base, like underestimate the ability for coaches to grow and develop the same way that players do. We think of coaches as being pretty static. It's like, oh, Matt Eberflus is this way and Luke Getsy is this way, and they will always be that way. And sometimes you do see coaches that are static. I mean, Matt Nagy comes to mind as someone who failed to adapt and grow and adjust. And that is a good example of like, yeah, this guy's not learning and changing with the times and changing with what's going on with the football team. But we are seeing some signs of that from Eberflus and Getsy. And we saw some signs of that last year when they changed the offense with Getsy, and the defense was a little bit slower to adjust. But like this year, we've seen him blitz a little bit more. We've seen them mix up the fronts and the packages on the back end a little bit more. Like there are some signs of the coaching staff learning and growing and changing and developing and maybe improving along the way. So I'm not sold that Eberflus is fully going to be able to save his job, but it is a fairly favorable schedule outside of the Chargers offense and then the 2 Lions games. Like the Vikings don't scare you as much. The Saints are kind of up and down. The Panthers aren't that good. The Cardinals aren't that good. The Falcons are mediocre. The Browns are terrible on offense, but a good defense. You look at the rest of the schedule, it's a fairly, I don't want to say easy slate, but it's not a lot of guaranteed playoff teams on that slate. And so like that to me will be a really good measuring stick for Matt Eberflus and company. Like if they're still losing to these teams that are borderline playoff teams at best, if not a lot of those teams are going to miss the playoffs and you're still not able to beat them, then like, all right, you got to go. But if you start to put a few things together here and approach maybe even a winning streak or get back to 500 or above, maybe we can start to have the conversation about sticking around.
Yeah, I think they got to win. I think they are going to continue to win. I think once Justin comes back, he's a competitor. He's going to be like, no, hold on. This guy was nice. He's good. He's not me. And I think his competitive nature is really, really, really going to come through. Speaking of Justin, let's talk about Tyson Bagent. How did you talk to me about how you liked his performance this past week against the who the hell did he play? Oh, the Raiders. Yeah. How can I forget? Raider Nation was rolling deep at Soldier Field. They were deep.
Yeah, Bagent did a great job of doing everything the Bears asked him to do and didn't need to do more. And I think that can sound like a criticism, but it's not, right? I mean, like they didn't ask him to do a lot more than that. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that's anything he did wrong. Like he was able to take care of the ball, run the ball, and rely on his defense, get some turnovers as well throughout that process, and really just operate this offense smoothly, effectively, and efficiently. Like that's all they needed him to do in a game like this against the Raiders. And you can't like ask for or expect more in a game like this. Like the goal is to win, and he was able to do so. Now, like as the season goes on, like at least for this next game, we're going to see Justin for sure. And then beyond that, it's kind of week to week. Like maybe they're going to get into a situation where he has to do more, and that's when we'll see what he is and isn't capable of. But I thought he made a couple of really nice throws in the Raiders game, and the rest of it was fairly easy. And that I think that's the right way to approach it with him. Like you can't come in and expect him to be everything all at once, but you start here with a baby step, and maybe the next game you do a little bit more downfield passing, you open up a little bit more, but continue to rely on your running game and defense. And as long as you're winning, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, and I was going to ask him. Great minds think alike. So, are we going to see him? Do you think we're going to see him push the ball down the field more? Because he didn't really throw the ball more than 15 yards. Everything was short. Do you think you're going to allow him? And he told us in the press conference afterwards he's got a cannon. That's what he told us. I got a cannon. So, do you see him pushing the ball down the field more with Tyson? But also, do you see them staying with the run game?
You know, the pushing the ball downfield thing, like I think they're gonna mix in a shot or two, but I mean I don't fully trust him in terms of having the cannon there. Like arm strength has never been like his strength. Certainly, he's got enough to throw downfield, but it's not like a velocity thing. It's more like putting some air under it, which makes the timing a little bit more tricky because the ball hangs in the air a little bit longer and takes longer to get there. But like, I mean, we saw him make a couple of really nice throws, you know, when he was flushed out of the pocket at the sideline, you know, and throw like I think the 15-yard, the one that was beyond 15 yards was one of those to DJ Moore, where it's like those are not easy throws, and he's not loading up, setting his feet and firing. Like it was all arm to get it there, and they were nice and accurate. Like to me, it doesn't need to be a 40-yard bomb. It's more like leading a guy vertically, right? Instead of like most of his passes were guys moving parallel to the line of scrimmage, you know, horizontally, you know, the dig route and crossing routes and slants and stuff where, you know, it's not like leading him downfield. It doesn't have to be 40 yards leading him downfield, but even just 15, you know, a seam ball just right up the seam between the safeties on cover 3, like something with more of a vertical like angle to it. I think you could start to mix in more of that to make the safeties have to play you deeper, even if it's not, you know, 40 yards in the air. It can be 15 yards in the air, 20 yards in the air, and still give you that sort of explosive vertical downfield passing threat. So I think they'll build it in there, but Bagent seems like the kind of quarterback that's not one to just force it for the sake of forcing it. And it's going to be hard to manufacture a lot of those because I think he'd be more inclined to just check it down. And when you got players making plays after the catch and the running game still working well and seemingly a propensity to want to finally stick with it, like as you said, like they're getting to it and they're seeing it be successful, regardless of whether it's Foreman or Roshan Johnson or Khalil Herbert back there. Like it's working. And why change? Like make them stop you first and then have Bagent throw downfield with you when you need to, but like don't make it harder on him than you have to.
You know, let's stop the run because we want to develop Bagent. Let's stop the run game, which has been very effective. That's the thing that scares me. That's the mentality that it scares me. I'm like, why? I hope he doesn't think that okay, now that he passed his first test, so to speak. Now let's force him into more or take plays out of the run game so we can get more for him to push it down the field. In my opinion, keep running the ball. Get some more shots downfield, but keep running the ball. I 35 carries is what I want. 35 carries between those two guys. They had 32, I want to say, or 30 carries the first two on Sunday. So okay, I'm okay with 30, but give me 35. Just give me 35 because that takes its toll. And if he does that, first of all, keep it when Justin comes back because Justin's never had it. They haven't run the ball 38 times, which they did on Sunday. 38 times when Justin was a quarterback. That changes the game big time. So I want him to keep that same energy. I want him to make sure that this game plan when Justin comes back is implemented just the same because you don't want it. Here's why. You got 2 stud defensive ends this year. You don't got to worry about Max Crosby. You got to worry about Khalil Mack and Bosa. So it's like you can't just run away from this guy because then you got this guy on this side. Stick with running the ball. Does Luke Getsy continue to pound the ball and commit to the run game? Because if he does, man, that puts a lot of pressure. And I believe San Diego again. I did it the first time. The Chargers are like 31st. They're at the bottom of pass defense. If you can't stop the run, man, Tyson Bagent is going to be able to slice you to smithereens. He's going to be able to slice you left and right because you're going to have to get somebody in that box. Otherwise, it's going to be a death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah, it seems to me like Luke Getsy has fluctuated with the running game, like as it's had more or less success. Like when he sees the backs are running hard, making guys miss, it seems like he's been more inclined to like ride the wave there. And then when they have a play where even it's not even the running back's fault, you know, but a play like where someone's met in the backfield and tackle for loss or no gain or something, like then he's very quick to kind of get away from it. So to me, it's kind of an emotional, like when things are going well, they ride with it. And when they start to struggle even just a little bit, it's like, all right, let's get back to passing, especially in a game like this, the temptation is going to be there against a bad pass defense. But, the more you pass against those two pass rushers, the more chances they're going to have to get to your quarterback. So there's a real give and take there.
Yeah, there really, really is. So talk to me about this offense. How do you think they're going to attack it? Do you think they're going to attack that poor defense? Do you think DJ Moore is going to go crazy? Do you think they're going to double him? And now it's time for Tyler Scott, who saw some action, may have some catches, time for him to get loose, or Darnell Mooney to get loose. Give me your thoughts on the offense coming up.
Yeah, to me, it's not a strong Chargers secondary at all. I mean, I like Asante Samuel Jr., but the rest of their corners are not anything too crazy for me. So to me, it's all about the Bosa and Mac mitigation plan. It's leaving tight ends in, it's getting rid of the ball quickly, it's rolling away from those guys. Well, I guess you can't really roll away from both, but certainly trying to find ways to double team one and roll away from the other, or vice versa. And yeah, there's no super obvious and easy answer, although I think we saw them do pretty well against the likes of Montez Sweat and Chase Young against Washington. And really that whole defensive line is really talented. And I think running the ball effectively was a big part of that. Like, you tire those guys out in the running game. They don't have as much juice to go after you as a pass rusher. You don't make it as obvious. You don't get into those obvious passing situations where they don't have to read run or pass. They can just attack upfield. And you get into those second and medium and third and short situations where your quarterback doesn't need 4 seconds to let plays develop downfield. Tyson Bagent can throw it short, and that's okay, because you're running the ball well enough to get in a better down and distance so that you don't have to throw it 15 yards downfield to get the first down. You can throw it 3 yards, and that's already past the sticks. Like that's the formula here, right? Is don't get the penalties, then stuff that we're backing you up. Don't get the negative plays. Just take the chunks, work your way downfield, and if your defense can avoid getting into a shootout with Justin Herbert and company, maybe get a turnover in there. Like that's the formula with Tyson Bagent right now. And certainly when Justin Fields comes back, like that's the formula again. You just add in Justin Fields' playmaking ability, and you get, a much higher ceiling for that offense.
He's Lauren Cox. He's on the Locked On Bears podcast. Dude, great stuff as always, man. Thank you for joining us. But do me a favor. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate you having me on. As you said, you can hear me 5 days a week on the Locked On Bears podcast on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow me on Twitter at Cox Sports 1, like you say, Fox Sports 1, but with a C.
Great stuff, buddy. We'll be in touch soon. Bear down.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, hold us down up there across the border, buddy.
I do what I can.
All right, man. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Guys, that's Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast. Great stuff, buddy. I appreciate the time. Man, 2 hours has come and gone. Holy shnikes. I want to thank my guests, Brad Squires from the On Tap Sports Net, for coming on talking Bulls with us. And then you just saw, he just got off with us, my man, right? Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast, the Locked On Sports Network, the Locked On Network, for coming and talking Bears with us. Make sure you follow both of those guys, both of their organizations as well, their companies. Okay. Great stuff. So listen, for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, Elliot Baez, our executive producer, our Clarence Council III, our social media guy, and my co-host, Adam Central. From all of us here, we appreciate the love, the support. We thank you for tuning in. All right, we'll see you on Friday. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Time. Listen, this show will be re-aired today at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8. So if you missed it, if you missed it, or you want to catch something else again, it'll be on YouTube, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Guys, it's a little drearier today than it was yesterday, but it still doesn't mean it's still, put it this way, it's still a beautiful day. Enjoy it. You may get a chance to nap with this rain. If you can, do it. Do it. Well, I have some stuff I got to do. I got to go pick up the warden from CrossFit. She's at CrossFit class. So I got to go get her. I'm excited. So, all right, folks. For everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Guess what? I am out.